The theme of this quarterly publication is all around innovation. And rather than talking about innovative trends or things that we're seeing in the marketplace, we decided to take a little bit of a different perspective on the topic. So we started talking about what does it take to be an innovative leader, and how do you lead innovation in a way that's sustainable and positive and motivating for people in your organization. And rather than going out and coming up with theories or trying to educate the marketplace on what theory would tell us, we decided to go straight to the source. And we sat down for an entire day with 3 key leaders in our industry who come from different markets, come from different experience, and have very different leadership styles to find out what they've done and what they've learned about leading innovation successfully in the industry.
The 3 leaders that we talked to was Atul Kanzote from DPR, a very large national general contractor, Tom Scarangello from Thornton Tomasetti, a global structural engineer, and Russ Becker, who is CEO of a very large global specialty contractor. So we chose these 3 leaders because we really did not know what the conversations were going to be about relative to innovation. And because these 3 are such dynamic leaders in their fields, we really wanted to uncover what their views were of innovation in the course of a day of conversation with them. Surprisingly, what we learned is that in the course of the conversation, they never mentioned any kind of technology innovation or disruptor that they had experienced or were even considered, although they all admitted losing sleep at night because they wondered if some kind of technology could come along and make them a little bit wobbly. Through the course of the day, our observation was in talking with these 3 leaders that their keys to success in handling innovation was more around the way they view and think about leading their organizations. And they all do it differently. But our takeaway in the insight was that these leaders view their organizations through a filter which allows them to adjust, to see what's happening in the marketplace, to take risks, and to try new things to win and to be more effective in the market. So their innovation was more around their organizational design, the way they develop their people, the way they take risks, the way they allocate resources. And it wasn't, fascinating enough, it was not conversation around some kind of technology that's being kicked up somewhere around the world that might threaten their business model.
I would agree with that because it seems like when we walked into this session, we thought we would be talking about innovative trends, what they're seeing in the marketplace, what we should all be bracing ourselves for, because when we typically hear the word innovation, a lot of people start to think about technology and what that actually means. And we were really excited to actually see that these 3 leaders don't see innovation as a technology. They see it as a way that you build your organization and you build your business, and then the innovative technology will follow. And if you can focus your energy as a leader on who are the people that we have in here and how can we leverage what they know, because if you hire brilliant people, they will come up with your innovative ideas. It's not the job of the leader of the organization to come up with these ideas. Their job is to create an environment where they can flourish and to create a positive and healthy culture and a structure that allows for some really cool ideas to emerge in the marketplace.
You know, one of the observations that I made in the course of the conversation were these 3 organizations were, they're very successful organizations and they're very purpose-driven. So when you really look at a firm like Thornton Tomasetti, who is setting the bar and has a big, hairy, audacious goal to set the bar with global innovation and to lead an industry with innovation. And you've got an API group that's got a BHAG around building exceptional leaders, and you've got a BHAG with DPR that's all about being among the world's most admired companies. There's this internal drive because everyone that shows up to work has this purpose that's bigger than themselves. And so these leaders have done an incredible job of creating the context that unleashes the power of these people to go do those things, whether it's to be more innovative around a global innovation or to lead technology in the structural engineering world, or is it around how do we build leaders in an organization that's 13,000 people strong, like API, or an organization like DPR who's relatively young, but is capturing the imagination of America in terms of their brand and becoming among the world's most admired companies. And so it's that context of these leaders thinking through what does that look like to accomplish what they feel called to do, with the values that they've inspired their people to live by. And the output then is all around innovating their organizations and innovating design of their organization and how they build people. So if you looked even deeper, the real innovation side of those organizations is around those aspects.
The other key theme that we came up with was these leaders really know how to take risks. Anytime a leader takes a risk, they're going to be faced with some tough questions. Whether it's from their board, it's from some of their high potential talent, maybe their successors who are behind them, around why and how and what does this mean for our organization if we move in this scary new direction. And they're willing to face those questions head on and in an honest and authentic and genuine way to say, I don't necessarily always have the answer, but we're going to figure it out together. And I think this is going to do some really great things for the organization. Now, when that doesn't come through or come to fruition, they are quick to fail and learn and move forward. They don't dwell on it, and they've learned how to fail quickly and how to learn and communicate what they've learned to the rest of their organizations.
They can connect dots quicker than most, and they're willing to allocate the resources and take the risk to move forward. And I think it's because they have a compelling vision for what they're trying to achieve. And so if the idea makes sense, they're going to give it a shot. And I think all three of them are very good about understanding their business model and holding people accountable so that it's not just an idea. You know, the takeaway for us from this session in interacting with these leaders was it's our impression that when most in our industry think about innovation or get concerned about innovation, they think about outside forces that could come alongside and disrupt their business. And I think the observation and the conclusions that we landed on is that's very unlikely to happen. You know, any organization of size and scale will know what's coming. It'll be spec'd in. You'll have heard about it at some conference or association meeting. There will be very few surprises for you because they will come through the traditional means and methods of procuring other work. That the key in building great organizations around this concept of innovation is the leadership. It's our ability to think and build an organization that has clarity around what they're trying to achieve, that creates an energy for every person inside their organization wanting to do great things.
I think that's right. And part of the difference that I saw as well was being able to create the time and space to actually think strategically. And so one of my key personal takeaways was building in time to be able to read and listen, not just hear what's going on, but actually listen and to conceptualize what that means for our specific business and how I can apply these trends to our business, and being able to look at the culture and understand what they can or cannot take on. And if you're running 1,000,000 miles an hour as a leader, it's really hard to be able to create that time and space to think strategically in a very effective way. It's one thing to hear what's going on, and it's a completely different thing to understand how it applies to your organization.
I think the people that will benefit from reading this article are leaders who really want to do great things. They have to have a compelling purpose to accomplish great things, have a vision that's clear, and have built a team of people and of other leaders that are bound together with a common set of values and vision to go do, you know, what they feel their life calling is all about. And when you have that kind of excitement, you have that kind of energy, you know that you have to commit resources and time to thinking innovatively about what we're going to do with our organization.